Welcome to Manufacturing Talks with Jim Vinoski. Industry has a million cool stories, and Jim talks to the movers and shakers who are making them happen. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to Manufacturing Talks. We're sponsored by Cosgrove Content, wordsmiths for industry. If you are in the manufacturing world and you struggle to find someone who can write about what you do in a way your customers can understand, Cosgrove Content can help you out. Look us up at cosgrovecontent.com. And I'm really happy to be joined today by Katie Lyon with Allegiance Flag Supply. Welcome, Katie.
Thank you so much, Jim. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Katie's a co-founder out there along with her husband, Wes Lyon and Max Berry. And we're going to hear all about what they do. American-made flags. It's perfect timing. We got Memorial Day coming up. So yeah, welcome to the wall of metal, Katie. We've got my buddy Corey Bonnet's posters back here of his prints or paintings for the steel industry, surrounded by all my favorite heavy metal bands. Figure it's manufacturing related.
I love it. It's art.
It's a kind of art. Some of it's really good art. Some of it's different kind of art. But yeah, love it all.
Of all forms.
How's life?
Life is incredible. Life's going fast for sure. Allegiance being life pretty much is going fast and really good.
Well, so we should mention you've got the startup, which has been going here for a few years now.
We launched in August 2018. Yep. We heard crickets for 2 years, and we really took off in February of 2020, right when COVID hit.
Yeah. And then, since you didn't have anything to do with all the spare time a startup left you, you decided also to become a mother, and so congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. He, as you know, as a father of two, that, not a lot of spare time.
No.
Get it done.
Hey, but it's all fun.
It is.
So we're going to focus on Allegiance. How did you guys get into this? I mean, first of all, what brought you to that point in 2018 where you launched the company, you personally?
Yeah. So Wes, my husband, is an Eagle Scout. In Scouts, he really learned a lot about flag care and flag etiquette. And when we were married in 2015, we bought our first house together, came home from our honeymoon that night and spent the first night in our house. And before we went to bed, I remember Wes hung the American flag that was given to us from his dad as a wedding gift, welcome home gift. It meant so much to us. It was just like a gift that we really cherished. But unfortunately, after a couple of months, it started to deteriorate and really kind of mold and wrap around its pole. And we were like, this was something that really meant a lot to us, and it really only lasted a few months. So we kind of went out and was like, surely there's something better out there than what's offered, made in America, supporting American jobs, and really something that lasts a lot longer. We didn't think we were asking much, and we could not find it. Wes and Max went to business school together at College of Charleston, while I was also in grad school at College of Charleston at the same time. So our minds were always thinking during that, and we kind of all came together. And Max actually bought his first house right down the street from us about a year later. And, we just kind of came together and we're like, we really cannot find a flag. Like this really doesn't seem right. Yeah. We kind of thought we had something there. And a couple years later, it definitely took a little bit to get it rolling. A lot of blood, sweat, tears, and self-learning. And of course, our education had definitely helped us. But it took a little while, and it's amazing where we are today.
Well, I mean, it's such a cool background story and such a cool thing you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm proud to fly an Allegiance flag outside my house, and it has kept up wonderfully. So you've accomplished that initial goal. Now, tell me about the time you mentioned it a little, the crickets early on and then the pickup. Let's go into that a little more.
Absolutely. There's actually a time that we just love to look back on. It's almost like it's enough times gone by where you can laugh about it, but we were not laughing then. We really set out to make the best American flag that we could. And we really found that we made an American flag that really was, speaking of the art behind your walls, just another form of art. It really was a work of art. It took over 5 hours of handmade labor to create. Each star was appliqué, meaning it was actually cut by hand, 50 stars on the front, 50 stars on the back. We could not, to make a sliver of a profit, we had to charge $225 for our flag. We really believed in that flag. We really pushed that flag, but it was not a good market fit, and that's okay. We learned so much from that experience. Mm-hmm. We went back to the drawing board and was like, how do we still make the greatest American flag we can, supporting American jobs, making sure every piece of the flag is coming from America. So we're supporting jobs, not only working in Allegiance under our Allegiance umbrella, but we want to support American jobs all around the country. So we were still able to do that with the flag and the prototype that we have today. We're constantly testing out new stitch strategies to continue to make the highest quality flag that we can. I hope it's not too noisy. I'm in the production office right now. I'm looking out at 15 seamstresses and seamsters right now, working on the American flag by hand right now.
That's good kind of noise if we have it, so no worries.
Good, yeah, it's live. y'all are hearing the made live. But they're not appliqué. Everything's embroidered on the star field. We still have that bar tacking on the fly end to ensure that, if one stitch breaks, it doesn't all fall apart. And we're really able to get that price point down. We're still at a higher price point than the average flag, but not by much. Our 3x5 flag sells for $75, where another flag that would last you maybe a couple months will retail about $45, $55. So during that time, we were able to really get our product down. We also it kind of coincide with really figuring out our messaging, and then also really how to sell online. We really got our ads down on social media. We ended up bringing in someone that had worked for a big time agency, someone with those agencies can be a lot of a retainer per month. And we brought someone in to kind of moonlight for us. And the ads we created took off. I hear the kids say viral. We had some ads really go viral with our production, and really our messaging just started to resonate with people. And we saw and still really experiencing some hockey stick growth.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, it's such a cool story there because it's so typical, right? You go in and you don't really know the market. You maybe don't know the process, and you're learning as you go, trying to create a business that makes a profit and figuring all those things out. So obviously perseverance is key. So you guys are living a lesson there.
And not being afraid to really say, I think we're wrong. Let's pivot, but we know we have something here. Like it's okay to be wrong and to pivot, and not be wrong and to give up.
Yeah.
I think that's what we learned more than anything.
Well, the other thing too, is you had these very strong values that you were going to stick with. So American made, I hear every time I talk to or email with you.
Incredibly proud of that.
Yeah, and you should be. That's phenomenal. The other piece is you wanted that high quality, but you adjusted, right? You had the sewn on stars, and that didn't make sense. And so making those adjustments without sacrificing the core of what you want, that's huge.
Absolutely. I will mention another aspect that we really changed is our flags were originally made of 400 denier nylon. So we were, in our minds, we were like, thicker, the stronger, the better. That, stronger material, denier being kind of a way to, it's like the nylon number kind of weight. So we were using 400. Well, we kind of found that our flags were so heavy and strong, what we thought was durable, they would kind of self-destruct. You're blowing something in the wind, they're so thick. We really had to go look, and we're like, you know what, maybe this is not the most durable flag. And this is really costing that, our costs were pretty high with that high quality nylon. So we are now down to a 200 denier nylon with a first run. That is no other American flag company is using a first run 200 denier nylon. So
what's first run mean?
First run meaning that is the highest quality you can get. So a lot of it's called second run, where if you're doing kind of a mass production through machines, that's kind of what a lot of that second run is used for. We use a first run, which means, the colors are going to stay vibrant. It is much stronger in material. And we always ensure we are always speaking to our vendors. We are the customer that gets the first run 200 denier nylon.
It's interesting. So what I hear kind of behind that is you had this heavy stuff that you felt was higher quality, but yet as a product, it wasn't really behaving the way we all want it to, right?
That's right. And
or the beauty of that American flag flapping in the wind.
That was very humbling as co-founders of a flag company to be like, hey, maybe we don't know everything, and we really we have made some incredible relationships and mentors in this very small flag group. It's a very small network. Yes. And we've made some very good friends, and we really had to be told, like, look, I've been doing this a long time and y'all should really look at this. And thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, so I can offer a personal testimonial, I should say. I was on the phone with a friend of mine a couple weekends ago in the morning, sitting in my dining room. My flag is right out on a wall mount outside my dining room. The wind almost never comes from the direction where we see the flag flapping through our bay window in our dining room. That morning it was. And I sat there for an hour catching up with an old friend, and that flag, it was a gorgeous sunny morning. That flag was flapping exactly the way you want it to with the 200 denier now. And it was gorgeous. I took a picture of it. I'm going to send it to you. You can use that. I will.
Oh, I love hearing that. Thank you.
Success. Well, but that's another point. You learn as you go, and you made a decision that you thought was right from the quality perspective, but it didn't give you the final product you wanted.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so many great, just fundamental business lessons here.
It is, and we're still learning.
Oh, yeah.
There's no question about that. We have opened up our own sew shop here in Charleston, South Carolina. We have always gotten our flags from sew shops around the country. We are still having to buy, we still have sew shops around the country that we work with just to supplement demand. We can't make all of our flags in-house right now. Of course, we would like to, but the demand for a 3x5 Allegiance flag is incredibly high. So we still work with them a lot around the country. But, when we opened this sew shop, talk about another humbling experience of, we really had to be like, here we go again. Like, we're starting another company. We don't really know what we're doing. We're not experts in this. We've never done this before. Let's dig our heels in, get our hands dirty, and let's learn, because failure is always an option.
Yes. But I say that all the time. I love that. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, I hate that failure is not an option. We're human. It is always an option.
It's always an option. Yeah. It really is. And the three of us, we continue looking at each other, and we have our Thursday weekly meeting. The three of us spend about 5 hours every Thursday together. We really spend the entire week, every waking moment together, but we actually purposely spend 5 hours together Thursday. And yesterday we just looked at each other with a deep breath and like, wow, we did it again. Like, we pulled this one off also. Like, it's going well during a labor shortage and just wild things. It's really going very well.
what were the big challenges? I mean, you mentioned labor. That's obviously a challenge everywhere right now, but with the sew shop, getting that off the ground.
Yeah, labor, it continues to be a problem. We at Allegiance, we care about our American employees so much. They are those that are coming in here to make the flag, they are the artists. I mean, we keep bringing up art. And we truly feel that our flags are a work of art. And I don't know in American textiles if that has been the talk track in the last few decades. And I think it's really about reminding the talent that they hold that I can't do. I can't do what they're doing. And so I think Allegiance is what we hear a great place to work. And that and next to someone saying we love your product, and I get to hear a great story like yours about our product, is hearing that someone loves Allegiance as much as we do. Mm-hmm. So in that, I think that has helped us with our labor shortage. We don't have people leaving. People really want to work here. But a challenge, certainly supply chain issues, waiting on machines that are supposed to be here in 1 month, but we get the runaround for 6 months, just juggling all of that. But I think Allegiance is also unique that we have 3 co-founders. It's not one of us, it's 3 of us. So we really have that advantage. I'm in awe and amazed of company, a successful company that is run by one in the driver's seat. We always have each other to lean on, which is really nice. It's all we know, but it's very nice.
And you go way back, so we know each other very well.
Yes, we're family.
Yep, very cool. I want to go back to a couple things you mentioned. One was you referred to the very small network in the flag making world. Do you reach out beyond flags to other textile producers, other garment people, like that kind of thing?
Jim, you have access to my email. I just started this today, actually. Allegiance is looking to after we get off a call, I have a call scheduled with someone that's not in the flag industry, but that's in American textiles and a company that I just really, really look up to. So we're going to have a call.
Can you name the company?
Hours. Yeah, they're called Redland Cotton.
Okay.
They make American bedding and linens, all used from American cotton. We no cotton. Our flags have no cotton in them. We do get requests for cotton flags. Cotton flags are beautiful. They're traditionally funeral flags to lay over caskets. We don't offer those at the moment. I would not want any viewers to think that we're talking to Redland Cotton to introduce those cotton flags anytime soon. Unfortunately, that's not on the horizon, but we are looking to diversify our products. We are constantly asked, what's the next thing? And we are just itching to release the next thing. We really are a company of one star product, and that's our American flag set. And we've been very fortunate with that product, but it's ready. It's time to bring something new in.
Yeah. I can see where there just aren't that many of you, especially focused specifically how you are. And so being able to learn from other people, that's one thing. And I've been in manufacturing way more years than I want to admit. But being able to network and see best practices elsewhere. If you want, there's a couple folks I'd love to introduce you to.
Jim, I would love that.
So you heard of Dean Wegner at Authentically American?
Oh, I do know Authentically American.
Because I'm wearing one of his shirts right now.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah, I would love to meet them. Yeah, what they're doing is incredible.
Yeah. So he's doing American made apparel.
Very aligned. But
yeah, definitely. I'll connect you up with Dean later today. The other one is I've got hometown friends who make the iconic Stormy Cromer winter hat and other things, including other apparel. And Stormy Cromer's president Gina Thorson would be a wonderful contact
That
for
would
you.
be great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
I love it. Really, I would say that to I guess maybe to I guess if I could like speak on where like if I look back on like what's so different over the last few years or what kind of attributes to this growth is making positive relationships. And Jim,
Yeah.
even with you, I mean, we've been in touch and stayed in touch over the last few years.
Yep.
It's just it's a I think even just in life is about relationships and it's about positive relationships. And when you can take a moment just to listen and learn and kind of navigate what someone else is saying or has to offer, it's weight in gold.
Yeah.
And that's outside of business too, of
Yeah.
course, but in business, making relationships everywhere.
Yeah.
So important.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. The last one that I'm definitely going to introduce you to, because you're going to appear in another Forbes article here real soon with her, is Amy Robbins at
Yes.
Alexo Athletica.
Yes, I would love to meet Amy. I was telling you I did a little my own little background and
Yep.
what an impressive company and what she's doing. So
Yeah. Well,
another
and
one
so
in business is always fun to connect with.
yeah, definitely. And for the people out there, just to tease it a little more, the whole point of the article is going to be a couple of, pretty new startup companies here in the U.S. that have not only survived, but thrived through the pandemic.
It's an interesting, it's an interesting place to be in. But,
Yeah, I bet.
But I really appreciate that opportunity.
So talk about that a little bit. You mentioned that, excuse me, that the cricket phase ended right as the pandemic started. So what hurt you? What helped you through the craziness of the last couple of years?
Absolutely. We love to kind of reflect back on this. I think a few things were going on. I think our country shut down, and there was, in the beginning at least, this pause of we are all in this together. And I think there was this huge American pride push. And people were looking for American flags, just like very reminiscent of a 9/11, or there really was this huge American, everyone staying at home, everyone has a responsibility, everyone. And so I really think that our messaging connected like right at the right time, right when we started to kind of figuring out that online marketing. I also think a lot of people were staying home and there was a big push for home improvement, especially outdoors. So people were replacing their American flags. And a lot of their local hardware stores and things like that, or flag shops around their town had to be unfortunately closed down as small businesses. And so more people were online shopping. So I think the perfect storm of those three things, the fourth being we kind of got our act together, the fifth thing being we got our product really nailed down. All of that came together February 2020. And it hasn't slowed down since.
Yeah. And that's another interesting thing too, that you hear time and time again, is how people will struggle, and then it's like these forces align. And I think there's this, to me, misconception that it's just dumb luck and, so things just turned in your favor and you didn't have anything to do with it. Well, it was all that hard work through the tough couple of years of pivoting and adjusting and making your business model work that set you up for
one of my favorite
opportunity.
things. And my dad would be like, Katie, I've told you who said this a million times growing up, and I wish I remembered who said it, but the harder I work, the luckier I seem. And that's really true.
Yeah.
The luck,
right.
really, I mean, yes, of course. I think a lot of things are very lucky and still are, but there's no shortage of hard work under these roofs and in these walls of allegiance. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So how's the business look right now? You guys seem to be doing well. You've grown, you've added employees.
Yeah.
Feeling good about where you sit?
A small snapshot of when we spoke in 2020, I remember we had a conversation. Wes, Max, and I were sitting in Wes and I's garage, and we were waiting for high school bell to ring for Max's cousin to come over and help us fulfill some orders. And today we have 25 employees working in our Charleston location. We have 50 employees around the country. We just moved into 8,000 square feet. After my call after this, we're going to look at another building to move into because I'm looking up at the rafters right now and get that storage in my 100 square foot office. So we're already busting at the seams. A snapshot is that the growth is just continuing. The American pride is abundant. And I think I would love to say that our messaging behind during a very political time in our country, allegiance remains to be American. We are not we are not a flag for the left. We are not a flag for the political party on the right. We are a flag for everybody. We are a flag that supports American jobs. We are truly here for everyone. That message continues to resonate with people. And I think we just really do believe in the good in America. And we really believe in the good in people. We believe in the good of small business, family-owned companies. We're attracted to good people. And I think when you're attracted to good people, that eventually kind of rubs off on you. And so Allegiance, we continue to have really good people want to work for us. And, on Fridays, our sew shop's closed. We actually work just the sew shop, not the fulfillment side. We're open 4 days a week from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then they're off on Fridays. I'm looking out there right now and I see 6 people that came to work because, we're in our massive rush right now. And, they're not even all hourly. Like they really don't have to be here. And, they're in here. We brought in a bunch of Starbucks for everyone. I'm like, all right, guys, let's go. Thank you so much for putting in this true midnight oil. I guess to answer your question, we're moving, but we're having a lot of fun and we're working really, really hard. Yep. And everyone is from all departments.
Yeah, but that's the magic. And I'm glad you brought back up about the people. And I see that again and again, especially in these times of difficulty in having the staffing you need, is it's all about that culture that people want to work in, right?
It is.
And I wrote an article years ago. It was actually pre-Forbes, and it was just saying that if we want to develop the manufacturing workforce of the future, we have to make manufacturing jobs suck less.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true. And
it sounds like you're doing just that.
It's wild that it's an industry that can suck for some. Yeah. Because I've never met better people in my life. I've never met more talented people in my life. Truly, the American seamstress or seamster is an artist, and we certainly treat them that way, and they are when they're under our roof. And another thing I think that that has benefited Allegiance incredibly positively is we look to hire veterans and we look to hire military spouses. We talked a little bit about Eagle Scouts even before we got on this call together.
Yeah, I'm going to do a pride plug here in a minute.
I hope you do. Because if you don't, I will. Because it's truly. But of course, my husband is an Eagle Scout. Really, the military community. They really put out some incredible people. So it's our lead seamstress is the veteran of the Air Force, and our customer service team, we look to hire veteran spouses. Their job insecurity can be very high because they're constantly moving and they don't know where they're going. So we offer jobs to military spouses so they can work remotely. And their store, they always have, I like get emotional. They have an amazing American story to tell. So those are the people that we would like answering our phones and talking to our customers. Those are some proud Americans. And we're proud that they're Allegiance employees.
Now, quick aside, you mentioned you're in Charleston. Is that where the Yorktown is?
It is.
Oh, so at some point, I'm bringing scouts to see you.
Perfect.
My troop, I'm Scoutmaster here in Granville, Michigan. We have now stayed on 4 different warships overnight.
Wow.
Yep. And the ultimate that my previous Scoutmaster, the guy who I replaced, had out there was the overnight on the Yorktown. And I am committed to making that happen. So now it becomes a tour from way up here in Michigan down to stay the night on the boat and to see Allegiance.
Jim, please do. Wes hosts a lot of scout troops out here and then of course they have their projects. And so we host a lot of projects of flag etiquette. We had a few scout members. Their project was how to properly dispose of a flag. So we helped out there donating flag boxes around town, a scout troop in Florida and a scout troop here in Charleston. So of course, we're very passionate about Scouts and Eagle and anyone aiming to get their Eagle Scout. So you have an open invitation.
Fantastic. And so, we've mentioned Eagle a number of times, and I may be particularly beaming today because last night my older son John became an Eagle.
I mean, we talked a little before this, and there's just nothing that can compare to that. We were really talking, and it's so true. It holds weight far beyond just yesterday's graduation.
I posted it.
College.
I posted it on LinkedIn this morning, and I'm just overwhelmed by all the Eagle Scouts who I'm not connected with, who saw it, from other people commenting on it in their network. And you talk about that, the weight it holds for years. I had one guy comment, here 40 years after getting my Eagle, I still value the lessons I learned in scouting. So it's life-changing.
And really that it's a group of people. It's a fraternity of a sports that, when your son is in a job interview in 10, 15, 30 years from now, and there's another Eagle Scout in there and they see that on their resume, they're immediately taken under their wing. It's a fraternity, and it's a group of brothers and sisters that are incredibly strong. It's very cool.
John and Wes are already buddies, and they don't even know it yet.
Exactly. Truly. So when you come down to visit, I know Wes will love to shake his hand.
Wonderful. Yeah. Okay. Back to Allegiance. What are the next opportunities? You mentioned maybe branching out, not cotton yet. Well, even though I was getting excited there because I do love those cotton flags. But what are you guys looking at next?
Yeah, we've tossed so many ideas around. A natural fit would be releasing new flags. We have demand for different flags for sure. We don't know if that's going to be a natural fit for us in terms of supplement products, kind of meaning like, when we offer other flags, we don't see so much that our customer comes back for all flags. If you're Yeti and you love your Yeti cooler, you're not going to choose a Yeti cooler or a Yeti cup. You're going to be you're going to be a fan of the brand, and you're going to want all that they offer because they are the best. If we are an Allegiance flag, we offer an American flag, and maybe we offer a Texas flag, the highest quality Texas flag. You're probably going to choose either or. So it's not off the table. I'm looking at prototypes being made out there. We're constantly searching. But we also like the idea of maybe taking Allegiance as an American legacy brand, and we branch out over more than flags. And we are just really a made in America brand, because again, what means so much to us is supporting these American jobs. And we can do that outside of flags, but can we still do it the way that we want, only releasing the highest quality products? And really what I also should have mentioned already is May is Military Appreciation Month. And something that Allegiance certainly supports, one of our main pillars is supporting military organizations. So this month, every week so far, we've partnered with a different organization. And there's different campaigns for every week. So this upcoming week, we'll be partnering with Best Defense Foundation. And for every flag that's purchased, we will be donating an American flag to Best Defense Foundation to be handed off to a veteran within their organization. And for just after Memorial Day, they'll be in Normandy for D-Day, and they'll be handing out 75 Allegiance flags to veterans that are still with us that fought over there. And and so, I mean, they're doing incredible things. So just to be just remotely connected with them, a small token of our appreciation for all of these organizations. To say what's next for Allegiance is certainly continuing to partner with military organizations and expanding our network. You know, we work with, I'm in awe of those that we work with. We worked with Stop Soldier Suicide this week. The name kind of speaks for itself. They do some incredible work. We work with Boot Campaign at the beginning of this week, and Folds of Honor last week, which is an incredible organization, doing so much for giving education to soldiers that have either fallen or just veterans. So those that we work with now, we're in awe of, and we just can't wait to continue to expand that Rolodex of. Really
you just reminded me while you were talking. So next week's troop meeting here is my favorite of the year, and that is when we go place the flags at our local cemetery, the graves of the veterans.
On Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Memorial Day, it's a kickoff to summer.
Yep.
It is, but it's really
flag season.
It's flag season. It's so much more than that. You know, it's a moment to really thank the brave. I mean, we are the land of free because of the brave, and it really is. We need to say that every day and thank them every day. But Memorial Day is such a wonderful time to really give yourself permission to stop and really sit and think of what we are today is because of the selfless. Yeah,
the sacrifice. Absolutely. You should also mention, so you've talked about your flags. What size flags do you have?
So we offer a smaller flag, like a boat flag, a 16 by 24. We offer that with a pole. These poles are really cool. They're made out of Florida, and they fit in every rod holder on a boat. And of course, all of those materials are made in America. We source them out of Florida. Our 3x5 is by far most popular. That's what you're going to fly on a porch, or anywhere that you'd like to fly a 3x5. We have the accessory set that goes with that. By far our most popular product. All of the materials are sourced from America. It comes with the Vermont white ash pole, a cast iron bracket, and then we have these spinners that when you attach the pole, you know, Jim.
You
have it on your house. It does not angle around the pole. Which is a huge problem. And if by chance, you know, a wind, it's a piece of fabric, it's in Mother Nature. If the fly end of your flag is resting on top of your pole, just wait for the next gust of wind and it's gonna blow it over. It's no longer of those flags that you see just like being
all wound up.
So those have been a game changer for us. We love those. We get those out of California. And then we have
the American made, absolutely, and of course it's the American flag, which I am in awe of and in love with. But yes, those spinners, the bearings are magnificent. So go look at their website, folks. It's like
the vice president to our product. The American flag's the president. Those spinners are the vice president. They're doing a lot of the heavy lifting. It's an incredible product. And then we have our 4x6 and 5x8, which are just much larger. 5x8. We still, it's hard to keep those in stock. That we're out of stock right now. I'll let anyone who's interested in a 5x8 who's listening, we will be sending out a back in stock email for those that are signed up to know first. So we'll be releasing that next week.
Be patient.
Yeah, we've got a long list of people asking for them, but we don't really get to see them that much because they're always sold
You
out.
just go right on through, huh?
Max and I walked in yesterday and we had someone folding a 5x8. We're like, what size is that? And they're like, a 5x8. Like you always ask. And we're like, has it grown? It's a huge flag. But
funny.
It's a car dealership flag. That's what we like to call it.
Good deal. Okay, so where do people find you?
We are showallegiance.com.
Get out there, folks. It is a gorgeous flag. Great accessories. I highly recommend it. Katie, it's been absolutely marvelous having you on Manufacturing Talks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim. I've had a blast. I just always love connecting with you. Your soul really shines through when we speak. You're just a kind person in and out, and I appreciate this opportunity.
Well, and we're going to be talking again soon because we got that article coming up. So
that's right.
This is just so long.
That's right. See you soon.
Okay. Thanks, Katie.
Thanks, Jim.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Manufacturing Talks with Jim Vanoski. Watch for new episodes dropping on the first and third Tuesdays of every month.